More fireworks expected tonight when IRS Commissioner John Koskinen goes before another House panel to testify about those missing emails that related to the agency's targeting of conservative groups. The new round of questioning comes just a couple of days after this dramatic exchange between Koskinen and Congressman Paul Ryan. Listen.
I don't believe you.
I have a long career. That's the first time anybody has said that they do not believe me. I
don't believe you.
That's fine. We can have a disagreement. I'm willing to stand on our record. I'm willing to remind you that it was not buried in 27 pages. Most of that 27 pages is exhibits. When asked about the custodians, we advised you what
being forthcoming,
which we knew for one day.
Being forthcoming is to say,
I'm sorry.
You know what, investigators, Congress who's investigating this.
Will you let him answer the question?
I didn't ask him a question.
Just last hour on America's Newsroom, the man who will be leading tonight's House hearing, Congressman Darrell Issa of California, explained what he'll be looking for tonight.
The reality, though, is that we have some serious questions for the commissioner. The biggest one being, you came before us, you said you would tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under oath. Do you believe you told the whole truth? And, of course, the answer is he did not tell the whole truth.
Let's talk about it with Tom Bevan. He is executive editor of RealClearPolitics. Tom, you say that there seems to be a bit of stonewalling going on by the administration. Are you suggesting that John Koskinen is part of that?
Well, sure. I mean, part of the problem with you saw Paul Ryan, who's a pretty mild-mannered guy on Friday, basically getting very hot under the collar. It's as mad as I've ever seen him, basically saying that he didn't believe the commissioner of the IRS and that he wasn't telling the truth. And part of that is because they just found out on Friday, last week before Friday, that these emails were missing, right? And when we found out that the Treasury Department and the White House have been informed about it, that this email crash occurred, this hard drive crash occurred weeks before Congress was notified about it. So Congress is feeling left out of the loop. They feel like Commissioner Koskinen has not told them the full truth here, certainly not in a forthcoming and timely way. And so I think we'll get more of that in the hearings tonight and tomorrow from the House Ways and Means.
1 year.
Their House Oversight, excuse me.
Yeah, one year and 1 day ago, June 22nd of 2013, the president said this: "I'll do everything in my power to make sure nothing like this happens again by holding the responsible parties accountable." What has he done to live up to that promise?
Not a lot, actually. If you look at the record, I mean, the commissioner was moved out, but that was something that was in the works for a while. So, Lois Lerner went into retirement after taking the fifth. So there hasn't been a whole lot of accountability. The president also said, and this I think is a problem for the White House, that he came back and said later that there was not even a smidgen of corruption regarding the IRS scandal at all. And I expect, we haven't seen the president asked about it directly yet, but I suspect the longer this goes on, he will very soon be facing questions about that comment in particular and what's going on now.
Because now we know that the IRS did, in fact, have a backup system in place until right around the time these emails simply vanished.
Right. We're learning more and more. It's coming out in dribs and drabs, but we are learning that, yes, the IRS had a contract with a vendor who was managing their email systems and backups on servers. That contract was apparently terminated just a few weeks after this hard drive crash occurred back in 2011. So that's something that Congressman Issa is going to probe tonight and tomorrow, I'm sure, and we may learn a few more details. I'm not expecting we're going to learn a whole lot, but maybe a few more details that move this story forward a little bit. But this is one of those stories, John, that's not going to go away anytime soon, because it's really the explanation that the administration, that the IRS has provided, is so implausible. You can't find anyone really, when you ask them whether these emails can just disappear without a trace. Nobody believes that. So that's one of the reasons this story is going to stick around.
Now, Rosemary Woods tried to explain how she erased some of the Nixon recordings by, through this convoluted, complicated, press this button with my foot and press this with my finger kind of thing. But the mainstream media don't seem to be real interested in this story. Would you agree? I mean, there's not a whole lot of coverage.
There hasn't been a whole lot of coverage. I think that's one of the reasons. The New York Times, for example, Sunday paper, after this explosive hearing on Friday, they ran something on Saturday, but nothing in the big Sunday edition. Very little in the Washington Post. Not a lot on the major networks. I think that's one of the reasons that this story hasn't sort of blown up, but it will continue. And certainly, there are a couple of things that might increase the visibility and the pressure. Certainly, if Republicans take control of the Senate in November, they would have subpoena power there. And there's always the possibility that someone from within the IRS would come forward, a whistleblower of some kind, and provide additional information that would, sort of up the profile of this story.
Yeah. Or if we can find those missing emails somehow, some way. Tom Bevan from RealClearPolitics.
And they're certainly going to look into that, too.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a reward fund out there now for anybody who can find them, as I understand it. Tom Bevan from RealClearPolitics. Tom, thank you.